Welcome back to our lesson, Art from Trash. Now we're going to have a look at passive language and how we can put sentences and phrases into the passive voice. To understand passive, let's look at active language. Got an example up here. Van Gogh, a very famous painter, painted Starry Night, which is a painting. Van Gogh painted Starry Night. Now the way this all is Van Gogh is the most important part of the sentence. The emphasis is on the person who painted the picture. If we actually wanted to emphasize or make most important the action, we can change the sentence around and put it into the passive voice. So under the active language, Van Gogh, stressed, is the most important. But how do you think we could make the actual painting of Starry Night the most important part of the sentence? Show you. All we do is turn them around. Starry Night, object. Was painted by Van Gogh. Now we have the object and the action was painted. It's the most important part of the sentence. And by just putting a few words around and using was, we've made this into a passive statement. We're going to do an exercise, an art quiz, where you are going to make the questions and then from those questions, find the answers. The questions will have to be made, though, in the passive voice. Are you ready? Can you open your books to page 81? Page 81, exercise 7. What we have on this page are 8 questions. 8 questions missing a few words. We've been given a clue at what to do to turn these 8 questions into passive questions, where the action will be the most important instead of the subject. Once we get our passive question, we will be able to easily answer the quiz questions. We've got some answers up here. Let's give it a try. We'll start with the very first one. In which country? The answers have been done for us here. Was Pablo Picasso born? In which country was Pablo Picasso born? So you can see the action of being born is the most important. And in fact, Pablo Picasso was born in Spain. So they've done the answers for us, but we're going to have to do it all ourselves now. Number 2, can you read the question here? What fruit, gap, often, gap, include in Paul Cézanne's painting? How are we going to use this word include to make this a passive question? Let's try. Remember, we turned our active statement into a passive statement by using was? Let's try it again here. What fruit was often included in Paul Cézanne's paintings? Did you get that? What fruit was often included in Paul Cézanne's paintings. So the action of including fruit is now the most important. We can run down our list of words here. And we've got one fruit. Apples is the answer. Very famous for painting apples. Number 3, now this is very interesting. What color? Our keyword is make by mixing yellow and blue. So if we want to emphasize the action, maybe what color is made? What color is made by mixing yellow and blue? The action being the mixing of the colors. Going down our list here, let's look for a color. Leonardo da Vinci, no. Paris, no. Barcelona. Green! Green is made by mixing yellow and blue. Ooh, this is interesting. What style of art? And our keyword here is start. What kind of art? By Claude Monet. If we wanted to make the action of starting the art movement, we would use what style of art was started by Claude Monet. So Claude Monet is not the most important part of the sentence, but the action of starting an art movement. And if we go down our list here, green, apples we've used, Impressionism. Impressionism. Impressionism is when we look at an object and we paint it, but we use our imagination and what it means to us as opposed to trying to recreate that. Paul Monet was very popular for painting flowers, but his idea of flowers, Impressionism. This is an interesting one. In which European city can sculptures by Antoni Gaudi, our keyword is see, what are we going to think? What are we going to say for a passive voice? In which European city can sculptures by Antoni Gaudi be seen? Be seen. The action of seeing his sculptures. Now this can be tricky. We've got Paris, Barcelona. We've already used Spain. I'm going to guess Barcelona. It's got a very Spanish name, Barcelona. Very beautiful city in Spain. Where? Our keyword is situate. Where? The Louvre. Let's try this. Where is the Louvre situated? The answer here is a French word. It would have to be Paris, capital of France. Ooh, how many answers have we got left? Two questions. You guys will be doing this very well by now. The artist Edgar Degas, know as our keyword to make it a passive voice, is known for his paintings of something in particular. What is that? We've got two options left. Leonardo da Vinci or correct dancers. Finally, who was the Mona Lisa painted by? Paint is our keyword. And to make it passive, the action of painting the Mona Lisa. Who was the Mona Lisa painted by? By one of the most popular artists and most influential artists in the world, Leonardo da Vinci. Very, very good. So you've now made questions for this quiz using the passive voice, and you've answered them. Your knowledge of art has probably improved very much. We've got one more exercise in terms of passive voices. There's a little passage in exercise 8 where we want to turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into passive statements. We're using the same thing where we'll have a keyword, turn, construct, display, follow, make, hold. Have a look. I'll give you a couple of seconds to look through and see if you can turn the gaps into a passive phrase. Think you got it? Let's try. I'll read through. If you don't believe that trash can, turn as our keyword, be turned into art, you are wrong. Last year, the artwork on display at the Trash Art Exhibition, construct as our keyword, was constructed from all kinds of items, from melted plastic to telephone directories. At this year's exhibition, which starts next month, each piece of art, display as our keyword, was displayed in a container. To reach the containers, a footpath must, number 4, follow as our keyword. A footpath must be followed through a maze whose high walls, 5, make, is made of old household appliances. Last one, the exhibition, hold as our keyword, will be held until September the 9th. So by using keywords, be, was, is, and past, we can turn sentences from active into passive and make the object or the action the most important. Hope you've been enjoying this lesson on art. Now we have a little bit of homework for you. Thinking about art and trash. First question, what sort of materials do you think can be used to make artworks? Do you just need paint and canvas? But all sorts of materials we use and throw away and waste. Can you think of any ways you could turn plastic into an artwork? Pieces of wood which are left out on the side of the road into artwork. We've heard a lot about turning metal into artwork. Can you think about materials and how you may make them into something different, something worthwhile, so they're not just waste materials? And just to practice some of the vocabulary we've looked at today, can you maybe, on page 81, look at exercise 4? Thinking of the story we read about Ptolemy Elrington and his recycled artworks. There are 5 statements, each missing a word. The answers are up here. Remembering what we've talked about today, can you complete the gaps with the words? Very similar to the vocabulary we've used today. Well, I've enjoyed this lesson. I hope you have. I'll see you next time.